Shalom, party people, and welcome to the 12th Sea. Some of you guys may have been wondering what all my job backgrounds have been over the years. And brief rundown, time I was about 14 years old, I started cutting grass and doing pretty well with that. I had several yards that I cut on a weekly basis. Got paid in cash on pretty much all of them, and a lot of money for a 14-year-old kid. It was good. I ended up working at a small amusement park in my hometown that had go-karts and batting cages and putt-putt and a rock wall, and I learned to work all of those things, including the cash register. And then I worked at a yogurt shop for a little while, and sales, keeping the place clean, all that good stuff. I ended up becoming a resident assistant in the dorm rooms of the college that I was at. And it was a small college, small dorm rooms, but I still got to deal with conflict resolution, got to deal with, kids being dumb college kids. I also got to deal with, hey, these things are broken, here's this work order, got those things submitted. Ended up working as an interim youth minister at the small Baptist church that was in the college town that I was at, because they needed help, and I gladly helped out, took the kids on a couple of trips, did some fun things. Then I ended up, becoming an aircraft mechanic at a small little aviation shop. I went and worked oil while I was doing the aviation maintenance thing, and kind of on weeks off, twisted wrenches on airplanes. Had a lot of fun doing that. As a oil, rig floor hand, started off as a Roustabout, then ended up as a Roughneck. Picked up trash, tripped pipe, sprayed the pressure washer, cleaned parts, just, hard work, but it was fun and it paid very well. And then I got hurt in the oil field and bounced back relatively quickly, but I was looking for something to do to hold me over while I was waiting on a job. And so I ended up working for an insurance salesman and did all right, learned some really good sales techniques. But I didn't really like selling to people who I didn't feel like they wanted or needed the product that I was selling. And the ones who needed it couldn't afford it, and the ones who could afford it didn't need it. So that was something that was very interesting. But it taught me a lot about the insurance world, taught me a lot about reading contracts. And so that was good. And there were some people who, I think I made some very legit sales, but others who I really felt like I was reading a script. Then I ended up, in a aviation maintenance job that I was waiting on things to open up for them, and things were good. I had a pretty good trainer, and there were some mistakes that were made, and they weren't crucial or anything major, but it did cost us some time. I went to the manager and was like, hey, it's my fault. This cost us time, and I want to make it right. Made everything right. Got the airplane ready and said, hey, it's time for me to go back to school and get my 4-year degree, and I don't think I can do this and that at the same time, so I'm going to step back. And they respected that decision. I don't think I needed to leave, but it was something that, just looking at cards on the table and everything, it probably was the wise decision. And so made that. I ended up working at a sporting goods store and sold in the firearms department for a while, and then picked up a couple other areas where I ended up, being a small low-level shift lead on that end. And just a lot of hours, did good, made a lot of sales. Ended up working for a firearms retailer, exclusively a firearms retailer. They recruited me from there, and worked for them for several years and had a lot of fun doing that job. Just worked a lot of hours for free. That was really the only drawback, was I was only getting paid for 40, but I was ended up working anywhere from 60 to 90 hours a week. Finished my 4-year degree, and then from there, I needed a job that, was going to put me home, because I was thinking about, kiddos and all that good stuff. And so I took a state job with, the Missouri Department of Corrections, and worked for them for several years and had a lot of fun doing that. And I covered everything from the, social work side of things. I also worked on the emergency response unit and got to do the heart and the fist, so both sides of it. I ended up running the dog program that was offender run and just helped manage those offenders, made sure they had everything that they need, brought in dogs, took dogs out, made sure dogs got adopted, and got to see a lot of really, really cool things. Got to see guys who were life without take dogs that were getting ready to be put down and turn them into dogs that were just absolutely the best animals that you've ever seen, and a lot of them ended up becoming service animals for disabled veterans, which was super cool. Ended up moving within the Department of Corrections to a reentry unit where I was helping to get guys jobs as they were transitioning out of prison, and that was very cool, very rewarding, very challenging. And then I have stepped back from the Missouri Department of Corrections and moved into a different job, and that job is not up for discussion because I don't believe in discussing my current job while I am on camera. And that's something that I feel like is good for me, because then I'm not accused of, oh, hey, you were talking smack about this particular job while you were on camera, and so we're going to use that as grounds to terminate you or something like that. It's also just a privacy issue that I feel like is good. For those of you who are curious, it is a night job, which, if you've been watching some of my content, you've been able to relatively figure that out. And it is in the maintenance world. That being said, I'm not going to go any further into that. If you have questions about my job background, anything that I've done, hey, elaborate on this. We really want to hear your perspectives on these things, or what kind of things did you do in this field? I would love to get deeper into those parts of the conversations. Hit me up down in the comments, and we'd love to go further from there. Go do hard things.